Hey everybody and welcome to our playthrough, Dark Souls Remastered, Red Pill Basics. This is episode 1, where we are going to start by getting deep into it, talking about Frame. Let's pillage this corpse. I want to thank you for joining me. For those that have no idea what this is, maybe you haven't seen my previous playthroughs, I like to make my playthroughs very sort of conversational, one-way conversational, me talking. I'd love for you guys to leave your comments down below, interact with me on social media. We have a topic that we talk about that's not directly related to the game. The game is just sort of a platform. It's like a stage. A person can go up on a stage and talk about anything. It doesn't matter what the stage looks like necessarily. So we're using Dark Souls playthroughs as a platform to discuss Red Pill topics. This is the series, the Red Pill Basics, where we cover all the basic foundational things that men need to know in order to best operate in a modern world. Modern dating, modern marriage, modern relationships, modern laws, just the modern world in general. Excuse me. And we will be covering more than just relationships. To me, Red Pill, it's not an ideology. It's, as Rollo Tomassi would say, a praxology. It's a set of tools. It's not just about dating, though. I disagree with one guy on Twitter who advocated that it's all about getting with chicks. That's all it's about. It's not. Even Rollo Tomassi does not believe that. He talks about living your best life and a whole lot of other things, and that's where I see it coming from. We're playing this as a cosplay playthrough, which is basically, I'm a Black Knight. We have, for those that don't know, all the Black Knight weapons. I don't think I've upgraded them all fully, but we have a fully upgraded Black Knight Halberd, a fully upgraded Black Knight Great Axe, a fully upgraded Black Knight Sword, and I thought I had the Black Knight Great Sword upgraded, but maybe I put it in the bottomless box by mistake. Let's take a look. So what is Frame? Well, guys, let me just say that when it comes to Frame, there are a lot of different ways to describe it. There are a lot of different ways to talk about it. And I think that no matter what, it's going to be a bit confusing for those that don't know what it is. If you know what Frame is, then you know, and it's really easy to understand at that point. But if you don't know what it is, then it's not the easiest thing to explain. So you can think of Frame as sort of the paradigm under which you exist. And the question then becomes, let's see, oh no, I did not upgrade any of the Black Knight Greatswords. That's fine, we can upgrade them as we go. Frame is sort of the paradigm under which you function, under which you act, under which you behave. Frame is all about one real question here. Not so much what are you doing, though that's important. Frame is really about why are you doing it and who are you doing it for? Most of all, the second question. For whom are you doing what you're doing? So if you decide to go to college, who are you doing that for? If you pick a specific college, why did you pick that college? For who? For whom did you pick that college? Let's not worry about whether it's for who or for whom, okay? So grammatically, let's not worry about that, please. Thank you. You know, we could do a Dragon Slayer Great Bow build. Let's do that. How about that? Sniper crossbow, sure, why not? And I think we're good to go at this point. I will keep a couple of these things on hand, like the Skull Lantern. And then shield, we've got the Black Knight shield fully upgraded, I do believe. There. Let's get rid of that extra one. There it is. Okay. All right. Look at that, guys. We're ready to go. Black Knight Great Sword is not fully upgraded, but that's okay. We'll make it work. It's going to be my least favorite of the weapons, to be honest. I'll use it the least. I'll try to use them all, but we'll see. So, Frame. Think of it as your mental point of origin, according to what Rollo Tomassi would say. Required reading material, The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. If not, you guys can post in the comments down below. It's like having a mental point of origin with very firm boundaries, expectations, very firm settings, so to speak, to use like a computer term. You have a very firm, unequivocal, unambiguous mental point of origin as yourself. If you, wow, that was for New Game Plus 2, and I believe that's what they call this, because I played through New Game, I played through New Game Plus, and now I'm on the next one. So I think that's New Game Plus 2, I believe, but we'll see. Now I believe we're going to get it from Oscar, is that his name? So frame is about where you start. It's about who you're doing it for. So you picked a certain college. You picked a certain place to live. Why did you pick this college? For you. You did it for you. Because you wanted to go to this college. For your purposes, for your self-improvement, for you to get a career, for you to advance your life. So why did you pick a college in this town versus this town? That's a very good question. Now, here's how to see if you don't have frame. An example of not having frame and someone else having it is if you've got a girlfriend in high school, okay? You got a girlfriend in high school. You met her your sophomore year. I'm going to go ahead and push the plunger down on our French press. Today's drink of choice is hot black coffee. This is the Target brand of the espresso beans. I usually do Starbucks. I find them to be the best. I mean, of all the, like, you know, basic priced ones, the ones that you can find anywhere. There's better ones that I'm sure I could get and pay like an exorbitant amount for, but I like being able to buy bagged whole bean coffee on sale at a standard grocery store. This is the Target brand because at the time couldn't find any Starbucks on sale and was running low. So, and I like Starbucks just because it's a cafe. Yeah, I really do wish there was an alternative option. I don't like how ultra left-wing liberal Starbucks is. I don't like some of their policies, but whatever, it's not a big deal. Anyway, if you picked a certain college because your sophomore year girlfriend that you've been with all these years is going to that college, so you want to make sure to stay with her, to be there with her, that is her having frame, you not having frame. And I think the more examples I give, the more you guys will understand. If you decided that you're going to go to college in your hometown, not because that's the one you really wanted, not because it's the best for you, not because it's the experience you want to have, but because you want to stay local for your high school sweetheart, that's you giving up frame and her having frame. You are making a decision because of her and for her. Now, you think it's for yourself. It's not. It's for her. What is this? You know, this is just junk I'm going to have to put away in the bottomless box. Now I know why people just stop picking stuff up as they play through these New Game Plus modes. This should be a fairly easy playthrough. I think it'll be easier than the Kieran playthrough because I have a nice solid... I think the Black Knight shield counts as a medium shield, although it's almost a heavy shield. I think it's on the more higher stability level when it comes to medium shield. Stability 74. Damn, that's high. All right. By the way, we can't yet fast roll, so we're using the wolf ring. Although honestly, let's do something else. Let's use something I almost never use, the Ring of Steel Protection. How about that? I probably have enough poise as is. This will just give me more defense. Backstep. Oh, fail. My bad. First time through this game, I never noticed the stomping sound effects. I just wasn't really paying that much attention. Another thing about frame is that at various points in your life, you're going to enter into different frames. It's impossible not to, and that includes being in frames that don't make you the most alpha. If you get a job, you're entering into your employer's frame by default. So let's say you're 15 years old, okay? You get a job at McDonald's. You are entering into the McDonald's frame, and more specifically, the store frame, and more specifically, the store manager, and more specifically, your direct supervisor. A shift manager, whatever they call it, I don't know. So let's say you have the shift manager. He or she tells, sets your schedule, tells you when to come in, tells you what to do, evaluates you, decides whether you get a raise. That's some really good coffee for being the cheaper Target brand. I prefer Target over Walmart just because Walmart... no offense to people that go to Walmart. My girlfriend loves Walmart, but we all agree it's low class. There's a website called People of Walmart. There's no website called People of Target, to my knowledge. We're going to do Endurance. If for no other reason to see if we can maybe at some point fast roll, although I doubt it. I doubt it. So maybe we'll put more points into Strength. Yep, we should have gone with Strength. I didn't. Oh well. Let's do this. Let's pop... the Mana Soul, because we definitely don't need that. Well, let me hold off on that for now. Let's pop the soul of a great hero. What, 20,000, I think? That's still not going to get us to level, but what will? 112,000. Damn. Okay. I should have looked at that first. Guardian soul, I can't use it for anything else. So frame is all about, more than anything, whom you are acting for, whom you are doing your daily activities for, whom you are making your decisions for. And if you have yourself as your own mental point of origin, if you have yourself as the setter, the establisher of your frame, what that means is that in the end, it'll be you and only you who decides what you do on a daily basis, who decides what you do on a more permanent basis, who decides what you do from one day to the next. The idea here is, and especially on bigger decisions, but small ones as well, it's not so much about having power as it is about simply being you, acting for you, doing things for you. This does not mean that you are grossly selfish. This does not mean that when your mom calls and your mom's sick and asks for a ride to the hospital and you're free, you tell her, no, I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to sit at home and watch TV. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is when your wife or your girlfriend talks about how, you know, oh, she doesn't want you to go to this college, or she doesn't want you to get this job, or she doesn't want to move here. That's not relevant to your decision-making process. This sounds cruel. I know, guys, this sounds cruel. I get it. But you have to consider, if you make decisions based on what she wants, you're operating in her frame. If you make decisions based on what you want, you're operating in your frame. Now, people are going to say, well, wait a minute, Fox. Is this an all or nothing? Are you saying you just, it's either all you or all her? And no, not exactly. Actually, you know what? We don't need to run around and grab anything at this point, do we? Firekeeper souls are nothing more than 5 humanity. I don't think they give you any actual souls when you pop them. So we'll just move forward. How about that? Oh, yeah, there we go. Although I guess there's nothing stopping me. You know what? Let's really change things up. I don't think there's anything stopping me from going and fighting Quelaag right off the bat. Normally I don't, because I'm not at the kind of high enough level you'd want to be for that. But let's do it. And let me get in human form so I can get all the invasions. We're playing offline. There's a lot of reasons for that. Some of you know from my previous playthroughs. It's not because I don't like invasions. It's just because I modified my save file to make it easier to go into New Game Plus and get all the items, to try to do all these cosplay playthroughs, and then of course they said, oh, you found to have modified data, and okay, I get it, that's fine. Whatever. So also, when it comes to frame, it's about your mission, it's about your goals, it's about your dreams, it's about your ambitions in life. And oh, before I get too far into it, I just wanted to let you guys know that this Red Pill Basics series will cover not just frame. We'll also talk about fitness. We'll talk about nutrition and food, supplements. We'll talk about your finances, career, retirement goals, money goals. We'll talk about fashion and grooming. We'll talk about home economic type issues in terms of you need to be self-sufficient. You need to be able to know how to do your own laundry, how to clean your place, especially if you have a house, how to take care of the yard, how to take care of the flower bed or whatever else you got going on. That's not inherently feminine to have, you know, landscaping. That's always been a very masculine thing. To know how to cook healthy food for yourself, to not be dependent on always ordering, because it just, guys, even frame is going to encompass everything else. Once you have frame, everything else fits into that. That's why I've started with frame. We're also going to talk about dating and relationships and marriage. We're going to talk about having a sense of personality and style, making your life your own, making everything in your life fit you, being an extension of you. And then we're going to talk about social circles and friendships. And there'll probably be a 10th or 11th subject that I haven't yet come up with. Look at the blood on that. Look at the blood. You see that blood? All right. Let's see if I can do this. Woo! I know I'm skipping items, but the soul items I would pick up give so few souls now that it's not really all that important, is it? Oh, actually, yeah, hang on now. That's not the way I want it. That's an S-Stock. I already got it. Let's not get more junk we don't need. How about that? S-Stock is a great weapon. It's just, it's a little too thin, and so sometimes when you go to do the little stabby motion, it goes between the legs of bigger enemies and you don't hit them. Particularly annoying for bosses like Ornstein and Smo, where you miss a lot of shots that you wouldn't with other weapons. Also, when it comes to, by the way, if you're doing new game, I get people asking me this all the time. They start a new game in Dark Souls and they don't know how I open this door. Here's how you do it. You either start with the Thief class or you pick the Master Key as your gift. The Thief has the Master Key by default, but if you don't pick the Thief as your class, pick any other class and pick as your gift the Master Key. The Master Key opens that door, okay? So now you know. Also, we talked about enlightened self-interest, doing it for yourself. Not, like we said, not to be brutishly selfish, but to make sure that you are living life for your best interest. Because this woman that you've been with since your sophomore year of high school, or this woman that you've been married to for 10 years, may be gone tomorrow. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot, that was a delay. Wow, I haven't had that delayed input bug in a while. You know, I just realized that this is going to be a little harder than I thought, because I'm not used to I'm not used to the fat roll. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. Woo! Or a fat roll. Medium roll, sorry. There we go. And I gotta be careful because it's just a regular sword, but it is a little slow. So we've been using the sword. Let's switch up to the Black Knight Great Axe real quick. Is that a... That is a fat roll, isn't it? So hang on now. Now we're medium rolling. Okay, so I think it might actually depend... Well, it does depend on the weapons, how fast we can roll. Got him. Let's see how much damage this does. Quite a bit. These guys have fairly high health, so I'm not worried about not killing them in one shot. I wasn't expecting that. Also, within frame, I think a very, very, very important thing that we've talked about a lot before is knowing the difference between having a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. And you apply this to everything in life. You apply this to dating and women. You apply this to careers and money. You apply this to friendships and social circle. You apply it to just about everything. It's the notion that you are not 100% reliant on just one thing, okay, guys? Please don't feel like, well, I found this girl and she's really special and amazing, and I don't know what I'd do without her, and I'm not going to find another girl as special as her, and if she left me, I'd just be totally lost. And no, that's blue pill beta thinking. The idea here is to be more alpha in general. You're never 100% alpha or 100% beta. That's not a thing. But the idea is to adopt more alpha traits, to be more alpha in your decision making, to be more self-confident, to make decisions based on an abundance mindset. The idea that, you know what? I can get other women. I could find another woman. If this woman right now starts acting really poorly, and this is you thinking right now, if the woman I'm with starts behaving badly, starts behaving poorly, starts nagging me, starts trying to call the shots, and starts trying to take control of everything, if she starts telling me, oh no, we're not doing that, we're not doing this, and you're stupid, and you don't make enough money, and she starts complaining all the time, and she just goes downhill, an abundance mindset will be a totally different experience. Because here's what the average beta male blue pill guy will do. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, honey, and well, what do I need to do to make you happy? I just don't understand. He'll go to his friends and be like, she ain't ever happy. I do this for her, I buy this for her, she's still not happy. I do everything I can, I try really hard. I just don't understand what she needs. That's a scarcity mindset. That's the mindset of, I cannot afford to lose her, I have to keep her, I have to hang on to her, I have to do everything I can to make this work. I have to bend over backwards to make her happy. An abundance mindset, which is an alpha mindset, which is frame, is different. When you have frame, it's totally different. Whoops, that was a totally terrible attempt to parry. I don't think Black Knight's parry, but whatever. I was expecting a one-shot there, so whatever. It's not a big deal. When you have an abundance mindset, Whether you're married, long-term girlfriend, temporary dating, does not matter. Your response is going to be totally different. Instead, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go, all right, well, she's exhausted her value. She's become a low-value woman. She is no longer the best I can do. I can get other women. I can be happier with other women. I could spend less money on them. I could hear a lot less of this nagging and derogatory nonsense. You drop her and move on. You drop her because you know you can get another woman. That's an abundance mindset. The scarcity mindset is I can't drop her because I might not meet another woman, and if I do, she won't be as good or she won't be as hot, or, you know. You can tell if you're a beta and a blue pill if you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship and you don't have sex anymore. It's pretty much extremely rare, and she dictates when or if you have sex, and it's usually never. It's very rare. It's like once or twice a month maybe, and it's begrudgingly, and you beg her, and you kind of try to pressure her into having sex with you, and no, and that's not rape. No, it's not rape to try to pressure a woman. Everybody pressures everybody to do everything. Women pressure men to have sex. That's pressuring people is normal. You know, force is rape. Pressure is not. Pressure is a normal part of life. Everyone pressures everyone to do everything. So, yes, women pressure men to have sex when they're not necessarily feeling like it, especially lower value women with higher value men that they're trying to get with. I think a lot of women have a misguided notion that as long as they're available, that a guy will jump on it. But if you have an abundance mindset, if you are operating in your frame, and if you know your own value, you're not going to sleep with just any woman who's available to you. You're not. You're going to sleep with higher value women that are closer to your level. If you know you're an 8 out of 10 on the sexual marketplace value scale, you're not going to sleep with 4. Unless you're just going to settle for that night because you can't get anything else. But you're going to know her value, and she's not going to be a long-term prospect. Now, we can discuss the values and negatives and pros and cons of one-night stands and what you should and shouldn't do. That's fine. I think there's a lot of value in that. But you have to have your own opinion on the matter. When you have frame, you know where you stand. You know where you stand. You're not one of those guys that's like, well, I don't know, she's getting mad at me because blah, 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 or my mom says, my mom got mad because I told her such and such, and, I tell my dad, Dad, I got to be able to be my own man. If you have frame, you don't need to convince anybody that you need to make your own decisions. You just make your own decisions. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about a guy who had an overly domineering mother. And at one point he said something like, well, I've decided that this Thursday I'm going to sit down with her and tell her I'm leaving. I'm moving out. Apparently he made plenty of money. She didn't need him there. He made plenty of money to move out and be his own man and have his own place. And what's interesting is a lot of people would have told this guy, yeah, man, sit down with her and tell her. But the guy that he was talking to was very red pill, very masculine, very alpha. And the guy's like, you know what? No, that's beta. That's blue pill. Don't sit down with your mom and have a conversation with her about you moving out. He said, just move out. You just move out. And if your mom asks you anything, say, Mom, I told you I'm moving out. You just do it. That's frame, guys. That is frame. Frame is you just doing. You don't get someone's permission. You don't ask someone's permission. You don't ask your wife if you can work an overtime shift. If you want to work it, you work it. Now, granted, there's a difference here between just working an overtime shift because you can and you don't have a responsibility. But if it was like your time to watch the kids while she's at work, you can't just decide to work an overtime responsibility and not tell her. Okay, so you have to coordinate schedules and things like that. But the idea here is you are not making decisions based on what she lets you do. That's a key indicator, guys. When men talk about their wives and girlfriends and they use the term, she let me, she won't let me, she wouldn't like it if... Guys make these jokes all the time. I don't find them funny anymore. I try not to get mad about them. That's sort of pointless and stupid, but... Oh, I don't have the secret right anymore. We should go get that, too. I guess there's no reason to actually have to kill her, is there? So... I don't need any more Firekeeper souls. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just keep upgrading your Estus flask until it's like plus 99 and it heals you of... It heals 99 vitality? Of course, that would make the game just ridiculous. Alright. We can't warp yet, so we're going to go back up the way we came down. Frame, since we're just walking here, is about the enlightened self-interest. It's about who are you living for? Who are you going to college for? Who are you studying for? Who are you working for? Now, when I say who are you working for, I don't mean who's your boss. I don't mean what company do you work for, or what organization or public sector. Let's say you become a firefighter. So you think you're working for a city or a county government? Yeah, technically, yeah, they're the one that's paying you. But are you doing that job to get money so that you can support your girl, so that you can support your wife and your kids? Or are you doing that to get money to support your life that you want? And if your life that you want includes a wife and kids, fine. I would tell any young man nowadays, do not get married. Oh my God, do not get married. Do not get married. Do not get married. Do not get married. And be aware that some states in the United States even recognize common law marriage. You just live with a woman for a while and they treat you like you're married. That sucks. Marriage is a government contract that screws men over. It gives all the benefit to women. And I'll tell you, people will tell you stories like, well, actually, I know about this one guy who got alimony from his wife when they divorced. Well, that's great for him. He's like that one out of 6,000 or some ridiculous number. Now, I might be exaggerating, but honestly, in the vast, vast, vast majority of cases, man gets screwed, woman gets lots of stuff. Woman walks into divorce with the attitude of gimme, 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 and the guy walks into it going, oh my God, how much am I have to give this woman? Marriage is when, for many guys, a woman cheats on him, treats him like shit, lies about him, tells everyone how horrible he is, then files for a divorce, and then takes a bunch of his money and denies him access to his kids. Doesn't that sound beautiful? You ready to sign up? Oh, and then, of course, he finds out that one of his 3 kids isn't even his. Just like the cherry on top of that shit sandwich, or not shit sandwich, shit sundae. So, one thing about Frame also is your focus, your mental state, your mindfulness, your direction, and your purpose. And I use all these words because at some point one of them is going to connect with you. You might not like mindfulness. You might not like the word focus, but maybe the word purpose stands out because you went to a church where the pastor always talked about having a sense of purpose or something. Or maybe you hear aim and you always think about what your aim is, where you're going. Maybe you're used to hunting and you understand the concept of you aim somewhere and shoot and your goal is to land that shot right where you aimed it. Where are you aiming your life? Right? I'm hoping that one of these words really strikes you even more than the others. But when you have a purpose and a goal, a vision for your life and a place you're going, and this isn't just hopeful, wishful thinking. This isn't you going, it'd be nice like if someday like I own like a company and made like lots of money. That'd be so cool. No, that's not it. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is you saying, I want to own a company that makes soap. That's a thing nowadays that people do. I don't recommend that. It's a flooded market. But you could say, I want to have my own clothing line. I want to be a musician. I want to do this. I want to have a solid career in marketing, and also on the side, I want to do gigs with my band and have that be my side hustle. You got to have some realistic goals. Everyone can't have the goal of, I want to be a basketball player, a rapper, and an astronaut. All right, well, that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so you know how many really, really shitty rappers are out there? A lot. If you're a young guy watching this and you think you're going to be a rapper, you're not. I'm just telling you, you're not. You think, well, some of them, if 5,000 young boys want to be a rapper, maybe one of them will be a rapper who makes any amount of money. Chances are, if you try to become a rapper or a musician and try to do it for a living, chances are you will spend more money on it than you make. It will cost you money to do it. It will become a costly hobby, not a job. So just be aware of that. And if you really love it and enjoy it, hey, if you can just break even, that'd be great, right? If you could break even doing gigs on the side while you have your job where you make money, cool. Cool, there you go, right? So Frame is about putting yourself before others. It doesn't mean that, if your child is drowning, you go, I'm not going to risk my life. No, that's not what we're talking. Again, guys, we have to dispel these ridiculous myths and kind of give the disclaimers, because everyone out there always wants to think of what you're saying in the worst possible way and think of it in the dumbest possible way. What we're saying is, are you doing something because your girl wants you to do it? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. I'm dead. Oh. Nope. I'm alive. Number 5 is alive. Who knows what that's from? There we go. So the one negative of this build I did not anticipate is just how slow these weapons are. That I'm not used to, so I'm going to have to get used to attacking with much, much slower weapons. So if you're putting yourself first, if you're focusing on yourself, like we said, another example, your wife, you've been married for 4 years. You got a job, but you really honestly believe you can do better. This is not a career you plan on having forever. Maybe you're even finishing up a degree while you have this job and you're planning to go into another field. Expect something like this to happen. Your wife, say, doesn't have a serious job, or hopefully, by God, you don't do this. You let her be a stay-at-home mom. Do not do that. Do not do that, guys. I'm telling you. It will come back to bite you in the ass so hard. Do not let a woman stay at home and take care of kids. If you guys get divorced, the court will say, well, you made an arrangement that you would work and pay for everything, and she would just have the kids all the time. And that's what they'll fuck you over with. She will get the kids nearly all of the time. You'll see them every other weekend, and you'll be sending most of your money off to her. Don't do that. Don't do that. If she's not going to work, dump her as soon as possible. Do not let her be a stay-at-home mom. Make that very abundantly clear to her. Don't have kids with her unless she agrees to continue working. And if she quits her job after she has the kids, immediately divorce. Do not even have a month of her being a stay-at-home mom, because they will see that as a stay-at-home mom condition. If you have to, record an argument of you telling her that you do not agree for her to be a stay-at-home mom, you need her to work, you want to take care of the kids roughly half the time, and then you'll have that at least for court, and you'll have some chance of getting your kids more than every other weekend. It's just horrible when a mom becomes, when a mom stays mom, but a dad becomes a visitor. Mom's convicted ex-convict boyfriend will spend more time with your kids than you do. That's a little nugget to think about, huh? So something else to focus on. That when it comes to frame, and frame is about focus. We could probably level up again here. She says, and your relationship is going mostly okay with your wife, right? You got 1 or 2 kids, whatever. Or no kids, doesn't matter. She knows that you're looking to start a new career. You know that too, right? Let's see. So she says, well, honey, when you finally finish your degree or whatever, we really ought to move over here because, my mom's sick and I want to be closer to my mom. And we need to help take care of them, and I think that's really important, because family. And then when we do have kids, they'll be closer to their grandparents. And of course, it's always her parents, not yours, if they live in different places. So a lot of guys will be like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll start looking for jobs over there in, I don't know, make up someplace, Miami, or, look over there in Tucson, Albuquerque, wherever she tells you. If you do that, if you say, okay, well, she wants to move back to Tucson, and you don't, but she wants to be closer to her sick mom and wants to be where her family is, whatever, and you guys currently live in Florida, all right? She wants to move back to Tucson, Arizona. If you have frame, what you don't do is say, okay, I guess I'll start looking for jobs in Tucson then. Because if you do that, you just submitted to her frame. She just set the frame. She set the groundwork. You guys are moving for her, not for you. It's not what you wanted. You did it for her. Excuse me. Instead, if you've got frame and you're an alpha, you don't say, sorry, bitch, we ain't doing what you want. No, that's not what alpha is, okay, guys? The people get this wrong impression. They get this impression that alpha is all about some brutishly horrible, evil man who just kind of steamrolls everybody, and they have that idea that, he's all about power and control. Alpha is more like the guy in Gone with the Wind. Now, I haven't seen the movie. I just seen this one scene where he says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," something like that. You don't have to say that. You just have to feel that. If your wife is bitching and complaining about wanting to move back to where her parents are, the answer is no. For several reasons. Number one, that's a childish desire. That's an immature female desire. A mature woman doesn't want to run back to mommy and daddy's house. Okay? That's an issue I had with one of the women I was with. She never really matured, and she always wanted to go back to mommy and daddy. She couldn't wait to get away from them, and then couldn't wait to get back. Always wanted to move back closer to mommy and daddy. That's the childish mentality that a lot of women have. Men can sometimes have that, but it's just not as common. It's just not as common. This is a especially common mentality in women who have newborn children. They have this sense that they want to share that experience with their mom. And so the new mommy wants to move back with old mommy so she can, get, help from grandmommy. Yes, it's very immature. No, you shouldn't accommodate it. It should be a hard stop no. The other thing to consider is by moving back closer to her parents, whether it's both or one or doesn't matter, you're giving them a level of control. The closer you live to them, the more control they're going to exert over your marriage. There are ways to try to combat that, but the honest truth is, let's see, there we go. All right. We got the repair box. I always like getting the repair box, weaponsmith box, and armorsmith box. Man, the noise that makes. It's like Mach 3 blowing up crates. Pew! You establish frame. You decide where you guys move. And here's the thing. I've heard this before. Somebody was sending me a direct message on Twitter. Please, guys, if you want to ask me privately, send me a DM on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. It's worth it. Trust me. There's so much value to Twitter if you know how to use it correctly. If you don't know how to use it, Twitter sucks. If you know how to use it, it's great. Know who to follow. Know how to kind of use Twitter as a tool. Oh my goodness, right to the face. All right, let's change it up. Let's switch to the Black Knight Halberd. And then let's put away the junk items we don't need. What was I going to say? Oh, damn, I just lost my train of thought. Somebody direct messaged me, and they're like, shoot, which one was it that I was going to mention? Oh, they said, oh, yeah, Fox, but, she won't let me do it. Like, I tell her what we're going to do, and she says she's not doing it. What do I do? She won't let me lead. So I hear this one all the time. She won't let me lead. Okay. So you guys should pick on something there. I hope those of you that have been watching these playthroughs longer, that have started watching since I did my first Red Pill playthrough, those of you that watch the masculinity playthroughs that I've done and everything I've talked about, I hope you understand what I'm about to say. You kind of have a sense of what I'm about to say before I say it. If a man says, well, hey, Fox, she won't let me lead, that's a beta mentality. That is a blue pill mentality. So what's wrong with that? You start with the assumption that she's in charge and you need her permission to do it. And again, well, he's going to say, but, I can't just move if she's not going to do it. I mean, she says she's not going to do it. What do I do? Okay. But that's scarcity mindset. That's you thinking, I can't act unless she agrees to let me do it, unless she joins me in doing it. When you're leading, you're leading. Think of Moses leading people through the desert. Assuming this happened. It doesn't matter whether it happened or didn't. It's a story, okay? Imagine Moses is leading these guys through the desert, right? Story from the Bible. Imagine a few of them start to go a different direction. Does Moses say, come on, guys, you got to get back in line or I can't keep going? Ultimately, Moses would just keep going and let them wander off, right? That happens. Same thing here. You lead. If she doesn't follow, she doesn't follow. Now, it's harder when you got kids, I understand. It's harder when her name's on the house, I understand. But if she's not following your lead, drop her. And I always say this, guys, the more connected you are to her, like married, children, retirement savings accounts together, shared bank accounts, all that shit, the more connected you are to her, even if you just have your names on the lease and your boyfriend, girlfriend, the more connected you are, the more important it is that you get a lawyer and you plan your escape. I can't emphasize this enough, guys. Plan your escape. If you're just dating her and you don't live with her and you don't have kids, you can just cut her off and be done with it. Done. Easy. Easy mode, guys. Easy. If you're married, got a kid, live in the house, both your names are on the house, depending on the state. She might own it anywhere, even if her name's not on it, depending on the state. If you're deeply connected like that, you need to get a lawyer, silently, quietly get a lawyer, and plan your escape with them. You can't afford a lawyer? No, you can't afford not to have a lawyer. Trust me on this one. You will end up paying thousands, tens of thousands of dollars more if you don't have one. It'll be far worse to not have one. Always far worse not to have one. You think she's going to be reasonable? Nope. Trust me. She'll make you think she's going to be reasonable until it all goes down, and then you find out, holy shit, she was doing all this. She secretly got a lawyer and screwed me over. Get a lawyer secretly, quietly. Pay him in a way that she can't track. And get everything together. Plan your escape with him. Tell him everything you need to do. Say, hey, I want to get out of this with the least risk to me. I don't want to get a false DV accusation. I want as much time with my kids as possible. I want to pay her as little money as possible. How do I get out of this? Tell him a little bit about what she's like. I recommend you get a male lawyer who cares about father's rights. Any lawyer that says, yeah, we'll get you every other weekend, fuck him. Seriously. Don't pay him any money. Tell him you want 50-50 custody, at least, as a standard. Doesn't mean you'll get it, but that's what you'll fight for. Shoot, you could fight for full custody if you got a reason to say that she's not a good mother. And you could start from that point to try to encourage her to go more towards 50-50 in the end. So, again, to that guy, what did I tell him? I said, if you want to move, and fortunately for him, they were just renting. Or, hang on. There was a guy who told me he was renting and he had a similar situation, but there was one guy that told me that him and his wife actually lived with one of their parents. I think it was hers. If you guys don't have a place together that you own, or you're just living with her parents or your parents, or you're just renting a place, you can get out of leases, guys. You can. There are clauses to get out. Sometimes the penalty is just 1 month's rent. 1 month's rent is worth the cost. It's worth it to get away from her. You know what I mean? It's worth it. So I tell guys, just get away. Do what you're going to do. It doesn't matter. If it's just the two of you, you're married, you're living with her mom or whatever, and you say, hey, we're moving to Albuquerque. That's where my new job's going to be. I'm going to start this career. It looks really great. It's going to be an awesome opportunity for us. She's like, well, I don't want to move there. I want to be closer to my parents. You tell her, well, unfortunately, there's nothing here for me that's closer to your parents, so we're moving to Albuquerque. So, well, I'm not going. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get all my stuff together, and I'll be moving by such and such date. If you're not going to join me, that's your call. We'll just kind of call things there, and we'll take it from there. She's like, well, what do you mean we'll take it from there? What are you going to do? Are you just going to move and leave me here? Yeah. That's what I'm going to do, yes. That's how you do it, guys. It's very simple. Guys overcomplicate. I love Richard Cooper because he says something along the lines of, men are masters at overcomplicating their lives, or making their lives more complicated than they need to be. He has this nice way of saying it, but guys have this incredibly asinine way of overcomplicating their lives unnecessarily. It doesn't need to be any more... Damn, I killed that guy fast. Woo! I guess I'm used to being, like, super under-leveled whenever I hit him. Literally and figuratively, whenever I get to him. You just have to not care. You just have to be at the point where you're like, you know what? I'm married to her. I do like her. She's a great wife. She's a great woman, but I can find another woman. And if she's not going to follow me, she's just showing the future. Think about it this way. She is telling you what the future is in store for you guys. And you know what the future is? Her calling the shots. Her telling you what's going to happen. Her setting the frame. And if she sets the frame, she loses respect. Women think they want control. They don't. Even women CEOs, a lot of these women, secretly, they love having these very dominant men at home. They'll dominate in the boardroom. They'll be this high, you know, what do I want to say? I can't even think of the term. High-speed marketing executive or something. But in the end, she loves the guy that just takes charge. because that's inherently feminine. Women don't like having to be in charge all the time. When a woman is ready to go out on the town with a guy, she does not want to hear, "Oh, where do you want to go to eat?" Please, God, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. You know what she wants to hear? Hey, get dressed up, look pretty. Tell her, literally tell her, we're going to go out this Friday night after I get off from work. I want you to get dressed up and look pretty. But where are we going? Don't worry about it. All I need you to do is look pretty for me. Women will love to look pretty for you when you are a high-value man. Trust me. Decide what you're going to do for the whole night. Don't ask her if it's okay. Just decide it. And do it. That's frame. You don't get a woman's permission to act. You just act. That's frame. Doing is frame. Frame is all about action. Oh, come on. I felt like that hit him. Frame is about action over words. Now, you can set boundaries with your words, but it's more about what you do, not what you say. Oh, I got him. Wow. If you think it's about what you say, well, you're going to do it and blah, blah. No. Now you've made it an argument. You just tell her what you're going to do, and you start setting up to do it. That's it. It's really that simple, guys. People make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. She won't let me. She doesn't need to let you. You don't need her to let anything. You just do it, man. You just do it. You just do it. If you want to take a new job, you just take it. You don't ask her. You don't, well, say, hey, honey, I was thinking of getting this new job. What do you think? Women don't like that. They want you to make the decisions. And they're not going to tell you they want you to make the decisions. They're going to act like they want to make the decisions. Women are raised in societies nowadays to believe that they should take charge and be strong and independent, but that's not their nature, in my opinion. Now, some women listening to this may get mad. That's standard angry woman response, entitled feminist response kind of thing. A lot of women don't think they're feminists, but they've been influenced by feminism way more than they realize they have, and it's just perverted their sense of self. And what the hell? Finally! I'm getting distracted by this Hydra here, guys. Pretty sure that hit him, but whatever. I'm getting dangerously close to the ledge, too. Did that hit him? Yes, it did. Okay. I almost have to time it perfectly right as the head comes up. Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness. Did you see how close I was? Asshole keeps going further and further out. All right. Let me show you how we handle this shit. Hang on. That's how that gets handled. Problem solved, huh? All right. Let's go get Dusk, and then to make things easier, we'll do Rusted Iron Ring. Yep, we're medium rolling, so we didn't even need that Havel's Ring anyway. We did need it for the Great Axe. So, frame is about you just making your decisions. You don't wait for her to let her. You don't act like the pastor at the church who's like, ladies, you need to let your husbands lead. No, husbands, just lead. Just lead. You're not waiting for her to let it happen. You're just doing it. But are you leading if no one's following? Well, we can argue about the definition of lead, but how about this? You're taking charge and doing your own thing. Who cares if you call it leading or doing your own thing or whatnot? Let's call it having frame. How about that? You have frame, you have frame, you have frame. She won't let me have frame. She doesn't have to let you have frame. You just have it. You just do it. So, you don't need anyone's permission to live your own life. If she doesn't follow, you just leave her behind. She'll be shocked at first that you're starting to leave her behind, but she'll have to make a decision. She'll make a decision whether she's going to follow you or not. And that will tell you whether she sees you as a high-value man. If she says, well, F you, I'm not going, I'm staying here, I don't care, and she does, okay, she doesn't see you as a high-value man, it's better that you get out sooner rather than later. The sooner you can get out of a marriage, the better, guys. If the marriage is going downhill, don't stick around. Do not stick around. Ending it sooner is better. She gets less from you, less likely to get alimony, less likely to get more of your retirement, less likely to get more of everything. Just, it's easier. The shorter the marriage, the better when it has to end. That's just the way it is. So, as soon as you know it's not working, as soon as you know, hey, I made a mistake, as soon as you're like getting into this red pill stuff and you go, oh shit, I married the wrong woman. She is just, she is, this red pill thing is teaching me she's got all the red flags, she's garbage, she nags me all the time, she doesn't care what I want, she tries to take charge, she bosses me around, she tells me what to do, she degrades me all the time, complains to her friends about me, bitches constantly, is never happy. If you already got into that because you didn't realize what it was at the time, just get out. When should you get out? Now. Right now. If you're watching this on a Monday and a lawyer is still open that you can find, start talking to lawyers. Start talking to lawyers right now if they're open. If they are open, start talking. Start calling and getting consultations. Find ones that'll do one free consultation. Call them up and say, hey, I'd like to consult with you about getting divorced. Get in there. Lay out the basics of, have a very concise presentation. Try to narrow it down to about 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, tell this lawyer what it is you need him to do for you. What it is you want. So frame, guys. You don't need anyone's permission. You're asking, what do I want for me? And then do that. Don't ask anyone. Don't have a conversation with someone to see if they'll give you permission. Just do it. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole different way of looking at life for most men nowadays. It's not so much what you're doing, but who you're doing it for, or for whom you're doing it. Okay? That's the thing to consider. Who are you doing it for? Are you sacrificing for your wife who doesn't give a shit about you and will probably end up just divorcing you anyway? No, don't do that. Are you sacrificing everything for, quote, family, unquote, and then that family's just going to fall apart? You doing things for your mom because your mom can't get over the fact that you're an adult now and you got to live your own life? No, don't do that. You do it for you. It is pivotal, almost essential, to start a relationship with frame. Now, your parents, you can never start that with frame. A child-parent relationship always begins in the parent's frame. It has to. Same thing with employee and employer. The employer has frame. That's just the way it is. The employer pays you money and decides whether you continue to work there. Employer has frame. In a romantic relationship, either party can have frame. Occasionally, frame can switch. Although, typically, there's going to be one dominant and one submissive. And in most cases nowadays, I'm sorry to say, from what I've seen and what I've read and what everyone else is talking about in the red pill, it really does look like women often have the frame because men voluntarily allow them to. Just give them permission. They cooperate with it, and then they make jokes about it.
Yeah, gotta ask the wife if I can work overtime. You know how it is, guys. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, you know how the wife can be. Ho, 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 ho.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that pathetic, blue-pilled, beta loser husband or boyfriend who's always talking about the wife making all the decisions and the wife being in charge and the wife calling the shots. You take charge of your life and you make it your own. You pursue your goals and ambitions and not anyone else's. Now, if you want to help a good, solid wife to pursue some of her goals, because it's in your best interest to do so, okay, yeah. That's a definite thing you can do. If you guys have been together for, say, 2 years, married for 2 years, together a total of, 6, no red flags, few yellow flags here and there, but she seems mostly great. You're happy with her. She's a good wife. She treats you right. She has high value. She shows high value. She responds well to you. If that's the case, and then you want to help her invest in education, that's a decision you can make. That doesn't mean you're a beta blue pill loser. Now, If the woman nags you all the time, is never happy, angry, bitter, all that shit, and then you pay, like, let's say you pay off her credit card bills and you pay off her car that she had before you guys got married, you pay off, no, don't do that shit. And oh, please, guys, don't pay for your girlfriend's apartment. Don't pay for your girlfriend's car. Don't pay your girlfriend's utility bills. You're her sugar daddy, not her boyfriend. Don't pay her way through life. Don't do that. Because then you'll always be wondering whether she's with you for the money or for you. So, when it comes to a relationship, one of two things is going to happen. As a whole. And it's really this simple. One of two things is going to happen, guys. She will enter into your frame, or you will enter into hers. And you got to decide which way you want to go. I can tell you which way you should go, without question. But it's up to you to decide that for yourself. You will make that decision. It will be your decision. You will make it, and you will suffer the consequences, good or bad. So, decide now. Don't wait until later. Decide now. Whose frame is going to reign? Are you going to enter her frame, or is she going to enter yours? My advice, never, ever, ever be dependent on a woman for money or for a place to live. If she moves into your place, okay. You move into her place? No. Don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do that. There are some rare circumstances in which a guy really gets in a hard, difficult place. Say you're getting zeroed out by your ex-wife. You're losing everything. You got almost nothing left in order to pay all this money. And so you rely on a solid woman that you've been with a little bit until you get back on your feet. Okay, that's not great. That gives her some leverage. That doesn't look good for you. But if you have to do it temporarily, and then you get on your feet as quickly as you can, don't borrow money from her. Don't do that. If she pays for something, she just pays for it. You don't tell her anything's being borrowed, because you don't want to set up that kind of relationship with a woman. Let's see about leveling up again. First, we'll get the Soul of the Moonlight Butterfly, because we've already got the weapon from that. We'll pop the Soul of Quelaag, because we don't need more than one to get a boss weapon from that. And then, let's see. We'll pop a couple of these. Oh, actually, I probably didn't need all those. No, I didn't, but whatever. There we go. Let's do repairs. Well, guys, I think we've said a lot about frame. Again, I could do a whole nother episode about frame. I really could. You can hear my notes here. Wrote in a little piece of cardstock. You want her to enter your reality. Again, think of it as a mental point of origin. That's a Rollo Tomassi's phrase. Think of it as being firm boundaries that you establish in your head that become obvious from the way you act and what you tolerate. Remember that frame drives behavior. If you behave like a beta male, if you behave like a blue-pilled beta, it's because you don't have frame. When you have the frame, when you understand frame, when you set up frame, when you do things for you, when you have your own goals and ambitions you pursue, when you take charge of your own life and make it your own, you don't live for other people. You don't live to please other people. You don't let people walk all over you. And you have an abundance mindset. If you need to go off to some special college that's not in your local area and your girlfriend isn't going to go, you just end the relationship. You don't pretend that you have a long-distance relationship. Those don't work. They fail. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're just going to find out the hard way when she's screwing some other dude back home while you're out somewhere else. And then it becomes a mess, and then she ends up hating you, and you end up hating her, and just end it amicably when you guys know you're splitting ways. It happens. It's not a big deal. You'll find another woman. She isn't that special. She really isn't. You think she is? She's not. She's not. Believe me, guys, she's not. Oh, I can't kindle anymore. That's right. All right. Well, that's pretty much the end of the episode. If you have any questions about Frame, post them down below. If you want to make a comment about Frame, a suggestion, leave that down below. Make sure to follow me on social media, Twitter above all else. You can also look in the video description for links down there to all my social media sites. Like the video or dislike it. Hit the subscribe button and that notification bell icon. And with that, guys, I hope you maintain your frame. Keep it locked in on you and your goals. Think of it like your mental point of origin that drives all of your behavior for your ambitions and goals in life. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see you all in the next episode of Red Pill Basics, where we're going to talk about fitness, which I think is critical, and I'm glad it's number 2. I think it should be number 2. Later.